You're listening to Templar Hiphop on Sunny Govan Radio 103.5 FM.
That's right, folks. Templar Hiphop, Sunny G 103.5. Got my man Andrew Mackenzie in the building. How you doing, Andrew?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Good to have you up here, my man. The people who don't know you, you're a rapper.
Yeah.
You're a producer. You're a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Whereabouts you from, though?
I'm from Renfrew.
Oh, I didn't know that. Know that.
I'm Renfrewed out my nut.
Right out your nut?
Right out my nut. Lived in Renfrew all
in
my
my
life.
head, you were from the north of the city somewhere.
Alright. It's all pretty arbitrary, I think.
Yeah.
Glaswegian is a universal dialect.
So, I've seen you about the Scottish hip-hop scene in various capacities. Filming, battling, producing, performing. Mm-hmm. What's your favourite? Have you got a favourite?
I don't really think I have a favourite. I think that's why I do so many different things. I think it's like I couldn't really choose which one I like more.
Sure. I'm going to ask you as well how you actually started getting into doing hip hop things, whether it was rapping, producing. How did you?
Basically what it was is like me and my mates when I was about 14 or something, just started messing around with just getting instrumentals and looping beats and software and just rapping over it. Awful, just freestyles in an American accent, just terrible. And just like made a bunch of tunes, and then I was on this music forum and I put some of them up and people were like, what are you doing, this is awful, like never rap again. And so I gave up.
Was that a Scottish hip hop forum?
It wasn't, no, it was a forum
really?
It was a forum called Audio Coke. It was mostly people from England, there was a couple of Scottish people on there. But
right.
Yeah, so basically that's when it was right around that time when I got introduced to Low Key and Respect Bay and all the Being guys, and I'd sort of started, I realised, wait, I have people rapping their own accent here, what's this, right? So that just kind of opened up to me, so I just sort of never stopped, and with each thing I did I got better, so I've just kind of just kept going with it.
Sure. Today you're here to talk about your film. Mm-hmm. I watched your film last night, Dimension Zero. If I'm honest, right, at first I didn't know what to expect about the film. I may have had a few stereotypes, I may have thought a few preconceived ideas about it. Mm-hmm. When I seen it, and I said to Freestyle Master, I says to Morg today, blew me away the film.
Thank you very much.
I really enjoyed the film, more than I expected to enjoy it. So.
Oh, that means a lot, man, coming from you. I know you wouldn't say that if you didn't mean it.
No. I've got a couple of questions about the film though.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to get going, the film. Mm-hmm. The whole poaching an egg.
Yeah.
Getting rewarded with a drink and a smoke kind of thing. That was a metaphor.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Metaphor for what? You tell me.
Well, metaphor for work, really. Just to sort of describe it a bit, because people listening to this who haven't seen the film or the trailer are going to be like, what's this?
Sure.
Poaching an egg and then getting...
Sure.
Basically, the film is... I kind of wanted it to be like a cyberpunk version of Alice in Wonderland. So, like, my character is this guy who's stuck in this sort of repetitive routine, and I used poaching an egg and then being rewarded with cigarettes and booze. It's just sort of a metaphor for work. Mm-hmm. And I think we've all at a time felt kind of trapped in that cycle.
Yeah.
And then he discovers this woman who's having visions of, who pulls him out quite literally of the place that he's trapped in, and sort of introduces him to this wider world, and he follows her down the rabbit hole. And a lot of the film really doesn't revolve around that plot. It's a lot of images of things that I filmed at gigs, I filmed at music festivals, I filmed at raves, and I went out just on the streets of Glasgow like 3 a.m. on a Saturday and just found people and put them in the film. I just, for about a year, if an idea came to me, I'd film it, and then so I put it all together. I found a thematic connection between what I'd filmed. So
sure.
That's kind of the structure and the crux of the film.
It's a great movie. I really liked the fact it showed a different side of Glasgow. Mm-hmm. It showed people having a good time.
Yeah.
Through music, it wasn't necessarily a gritty film. Mm-hmm. It's about people having a good time, about love, enjoying life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you find. Like, there are a lot of people I know in the film community in Glasgow who really come down really hard on a lot of films that are made in Glasgow, because they do a lot of the time just focus on the negative aspects of you know, the drink and the drugs. And my argument against that would be, well, that is the reality of what it's like to live in Glasgow and to live in Scotland for a lot of people. But how I see it is, while these things can be problematic, there's also positives in that in that kind of culture as well. I got interviewed by this chick who's writing a blog, and it was a really good interview, but she said, do you worry that you're maybe portraying a bit of a negative image of Scotland, because like it is just a lot of footage of people mad with it? And I was like, well, these are just the people that I met. Like, that's reality. I can't help that.
Sure. When I was watching it last night, I put it on. My girlfriend was there. She's not really that interested in much things I'm interested in.
Right.
I put it on anyway. She wasn't that. She thought at first, this is weird. What's happening here? This poaching an egg thing. But later on, it was more about people socialising. And there wasn't really. There's not a lot of hip hop in the movie. There's more Oasis in the movie than there is hip hop as well.
Yeah.
And she was really enjoying that aspect of it. It was. I would use that film to promote Glasgow and promote the scene, the side of Glasgow I see, and it is people 3 o'clock in the morning hanging outside, ciphering, having a laugh, having a great time, just enjoying each other's company.
Yeah, and then the police show up and ruin everybody's fun.
Yeah.
No, I totally see what you're saying. And that was, again, that's just because that's the people I know, and it's really cool. Like, it was made under a manifesto, a Pink 8 film manifesto, and one of the ideas behind it is you find street superstars, as they're called. Just find people who are interesting, and you don't really need actors. You can just, so many just unique characters where you are. You can just turn the camera on people and just magic starts happening.
You had a few infamous Glasgow faces in the video. Psycho D.
Yeah, Psycho D from DYT.
Defy.
Yeah.
Mark McGee, big shout out to him.
Yeah, Mark McGee, Loki. Yeah, a good few people. Kid Robotic.
And a few strange locations, like one I was familiar with, the Clyde Tunnel Psychopath.
Yes.
Well,
they were very kind, actually. They closed that off while we were filming in there for nothing. I just phoned them up and told them I was doing it, and they closed it off to the Psychopath. But I'm really glad that I got it there with all the graffiti, because I think this year they're renovating it all, and they're going to paint over all that graffiti. And I think that graffiti just adds so much character to it.
It certainly has, man.
So I was glad I got that in the film.
So tell us, making a film, how did it come about? When did you decide to think, I'm going to make a film? And how does one go about making a film?
I mean, it's always something I want to do, to make a feature film. I mean, I'd made shorts before, and I'd made music videos and stuff, and it's always something I wanted to do, and I always thought I'd need a lot of money to do it. I need to really take a year out and do that. And then I found a trailer for this film called Black Biscuit. It was a dude, Fabrizio Federico, shout out to him. He made this film. He's from Derby. He made it all on mobile phones, and he used homeless people as a cast, and he made it for about £500, and I've seen it as a really good film. It's on YouTube for free. But he wrote the Pink 8 film manifesto, which is the set of rules I made this film under. And when I saw the trailer and I read the rules, and it sort of sat in my brain for a while, but I just got to thinking, like, I'm just going to go and do this. Like, I just decided that this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to film when I can, what I can, and because it's quite a free way of working, it all came together really organically. So yeah, it's just, I think if anybody does want to make a film, my biggest piece of advice is just go and do it. Just decide that you're going to do it, and it'll probably take longer than you want it to, and it'll probably, you might spend a wee bit more money than you'd like to, but just decide you're going to do it, and it will get done.
Give us a time scale. How long did it take for A to B?
It took, I started filming on Christmas Day in 2011, and the last day of shooting was probably January this year, so just over a year. And then I edited as I went along, so that cut down the editing time. And then sound design took a couple of months to get together, because I had a really good sound designer, Ian Diamond, who produces music and is a really good guy. And I passed the sound design over to him just to get another pair of ears, you know. So that took a little longer, but yeah, just over a year all in total.
And did you find that once you decided that you were going to make a film, that the universe kind of helped you with that? Were people helpful? Did things fall into place, or was it the opposite?
No, I mean, people were really helpful. People were really cool. Like Mark, you mentioned, for the Gyro Babies, got me into audio.
Big shout to Mark.
Big shout out to Mark, man. He does a lot for the hip hop community and the music community in Glasgow in general. Yep. He got me into the Audio Suit Festival for nothing in exchange for filming his band's set. So he helped me out a lot. Everybody, like some of the people I had operating the camera, I mean, they just gave up their time for nothing. Lauren, the leading lady in it, she gave up her time for nothing. So these were people that I knew and I was friends with anyway. But people were really helpful, because I think they obviously knew it was just something that I'd wanted to do for a long time. So people helped me out a lot. And Bose, shout out to Bose for letting me, Bose and Loki and Omega Sir for letting me use their music in the film. Because I think the soundtrack is one of my favourite parts of it. Cause
it's a heavy soundtrack. And even the incidental music's dope as well.
Yeah, that was Omega Sir that composed a lot of the background stuff, the loops. One of the rules in the manifesto is when you're working on the film, the director is the only person who can know what the film's about.
Oh, so really?
I just went to him and I said, I'm making a film, I just want some sort of eerie loops, like a Razorhead kind of stuff, just to put in the background. And he didn't even so I love about Omega, so he didn't even ask what the film was about. He just goes, alright, and then like a couple of weeks later just sent me this folder of just all these brilliant, like lo-fi, like grimy industrial loops. Brilliant. And then he just let me use some of the tunes he's already made. Check it out if anybody gets a chance, if you're into like really just heavy evil dance music. Omega Sir's brilliant.
I was liking it, man. Industrial, snare drums that would snap a neck.
What I like about that is talking about hip hop, like breakcore, which is that genre of music, is all actually based around the same break drums that hip hop is. Like the Amen break is a lot, one he uses a lot, but it's just 4 times faster. It's brilliant.
What about budgets for it? Is it an expensive thing? Well, I don't want to know too many details, obviously.
Well, over the course of the year, I spent about £700 on the film over the course of the year, and that was just like paying people's travel, and there were a couple of people I gave a bit of money to for things. I had a girl lie in a bathtub of Iron Brew, so I gave her a bit of money for doing that. That's a good job
if you can get it.
Yeah. I mean that helped. I think it's interesting that you said you thought it was a good film to promote Glasgow, because when I edited that scene together, I so badly wanted to put the Visit Scotland logo just right in the bottom of the frame.
What stopped you?
Possible legal action. Okay. No, I don't know. I would actually like to just send a copy of the film to Visit Scotland. I should probably do that.
I think you need to do that. Actually, we were recently in Germany, and I did think for my German friends that would be a great introduction to the Glasgow rather than Angel Share or whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I mean, I've not seen Angel Share.
Angel Share's alright. Yeah, it's alright. But yeah.
And I love I love the films that are made here. Like, I love Peter Mullen's films. I love the films Ken Loach made here. I'm not like talking down on any of those films. I just wanted to make something a bit different. You know?
Dimension Zero, what does it mean?
Dimension Zero, it's a singular point in an unspecified system. I came across this video like explaining dimensionality, and it goes from zero dimensions to 10, and it's really weird and complex, but it was something that I was thinking about when I was making the film, and I liked that idea of my character perhaps being this like this point in an unspecified system, or the metaphor of that, just feeling like that and feeling awash in all these images. The viewer could feel like that as well. Some
cool locations as well. Tell the people some of the locations the film features.
A lot of places in Glasgow. Also Cramond Island. I filmed our way on Cramond Island, which that's a cool place. That's
it looked cool, yeah.
It's just it's this little island that was used in World War II for defence, I think. There's all these bunkers still left there, and they're all graffitied up now. But every year people go over and they just take generators and they just have raves in the bunkers. But
that's cool.
It's connected by a causeway, and there's like a couple hours window every 12 hours to get across, and then once the water comes in, you're kind of stuck there. So when you're just coming down and you're just trapped there, and people are just at all different stages in their trip and playing. Sorry, man.
That's okay. That's okay.
They're playing they're playing techno still, just blaring, and you can't get away from it at any point on the island, and you're just waiting, and you're like, all right, 5 more hours until the tide clears. This is challenging.
Sure. I was going to ask you, how has the film been received so far?
It's been received very, very well. I was really pleased with how well it was received. I screened it at the art school in Glasgow and had a good amount of people show up, and for the most part everybody really seemed to enjoy it and connect with it in some way. Obviously there've been some people who've enjoyed it more than others, and I really liked the review. I had a review written in Flickr magazine, which is a really cool magazine for Scottish-based magazine for film.
Sure.
And I could tell the person who wrote it probably it just wasn't to their taste, but everybody who's seen it has understood that I was trying to do something different, I think, and I think in that so even if they haven't liked it, they've been able to appreciate it in some way. So I was very, very nervous about screening it the first time. I just thought,
of course,
because I had nothing to compare it to, and it's my first film, and I was just like, people are just going to think I'm insane. This is what have I done here? But yeah, it went down really well, and it just surprises you, some of the interpretations people have given me for it as well.
Okay.
Tell
me some of the interpretations.
The best interpretation I heard. Well, there's two really good ones, right? One is from my mum, right?
Okay, that's interesting.
Who thought she watched it twice, right? And she asked me, "Is the film like an allegory for mental illness?"
Right.
I was like, what? And then she said, well, because this character, he's living this very sort of Spartan lifestyle, and he's got these kind of, he's doing these things over and over again, this kind of like obsessive behaviour, and then he's sort of seeing all these images, and it kind of interweaves, and you've got the sort of repeating music and this kind of thing going over and over again. Is this like inside the mind of somebody who's insane? And I was like, that's a really good interpretation.
Yeah.
And then Gupsy, shout out to Gupsy, brilliant rapper from Glasgow, from the Dead Wife.
Big shout out to Gupsy.
He interpreted it as the bit with the poaching the eggs, that's Monday to Friday, and then the bit where I go and I find the TV goggles and put my face in it and it's all the different images for 40 minutes, that's the weekend.
Okay, cool. I get that.
I really like that interpretation. I wish
you'll steal that maybe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's what I love about. That's what I love about kind of stranger films like that. Like, I'm a big David Lynch fan, and David Lynch he's notorious. He never tells people how a film's supposed to be interpreted, but you just read, like, even if you go on IMDb and you just read comments, and people have got just millions of different interpretations of things, and nobody's right or wrong, it's just how people view it. I really like that kind of.
Yeah. What's next for you?
Working on more things. I really want to do, I'm not going to say too much about it now, but I really want to do a film next summer, and I want to try and film as many festivals again as I can. I want to like make it like Spring Breakers but with mud.
Nice.
That's kind of, but that's just an idea. I've got hundreds of ideas for shorts I want to do as well. I've got different ideas for features, and just music as well.
Sure.
I'm working at the moment on an album with the Dead Life. We're doing the first full crew LP, which is a mission in itself, because everybody's got their own stuff going on, jobs and kids.
Sure.
And
For the people, who's the Dead Life crew? Name some names.
The Dead Life, they're my crew. The core members, there's 17 of us in total.
Oh really?
Right?
That's a lot of members.
But coming and going at different times.
Sure,
but the core members are myself, Louis, GBH, Gupsy, Swad, Erin Friel.
Shout out to Erin.
Yeah, shout out to Erin. Just joined Stelios Guangalas. That's Gupsy's brother. Crazy story about how they met. They didn't meet each other until like last year.
Wow.
Same dad, different mums. But Gupsy knew he had a brother, and he found out the guy's name, and he put it into Facebook and found a guy that looked like him and said, messaged him and said, is this so and so your dad? And he goes, yeah. He says, mate, I'm your brother.
Wow.
And
wow.
just by coincidence, he also rapped. And
wow.
so they've got a brilliant EP out.
That's cool.
It's El Hermando Gonzalez is their
nice,
their
nice,
dual
nice,
name.
Nice.
Stelios Gonzalez, Scott Early, up and
Okay,
coming.
sure.
Well,
I've seen Scott battle.
I say up and coming battler, but he's like won, I think, all but one of his battles. He's been in loads of battles over the last year, and he's coming on really strong as an MC on tracks as well.
Sure. I've seen him meet Chad alive. Recently.
I've not seen the footage from that. I still need to see that. I love Scott Early, man. He's got a sort of comedic style to him. And,
yeah, he has.
He's trying to do something different. Tony T as well, recent addition. Who else? Tesco is doing it real big in South Korea at the moment.
Big shout out to Tesco.
B-boy extraordinaire and a really slept on producer and MC. I'm sure I'm forgetting people now.
That's cool. Big shout.
Cheers to all the Dead Life, man. There's too many of us, but yeah. So Corruption, We Corruption from Air. 16-year-old, just phenomenal. Like he's really ahead of his age. Like when I was 16, I couldn't even. I was still rapping in an American accent, man. It was awful.
We need to get you up here soon for your music.
Yeah.
We need to get you up here soon for your music, because you're certainly one of the Glasgow City's most colourful MCs, producers, well known. You're very shouty at the battles. Very shouty as well.
Very shouty.
I can't use stronger words on the
very
radio
shouty.
right now.
Well, I mean, I don't battle anymore. I've stopped doing that.
What are people saying that now?
I'm really not a battle MC. Like it's not that I don't like. I appreciate a good battle.
Sure.
I just think it's got this kind of thing to it where everybody sort of wants to have a go, and that's fine. But just because you want to get together and have a go, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to film it and then put it on YouTube.
Sure.
and make it look like the entire Scottish battle scene is this kind of
yeah.
There's some dodgy stuff going around.
Sure.
But I was actually at Badmouth Battles last night.
Can you speak about what happened last night at Badmouth?
The RA Rugby thing.
I wasn't there, so I didn't want to mention it because I wasn't there.
No, yeah, I'll speak about this. Okay. What I'm going to first of all say is
allegedly as well.
Allegedly, all of this is allegedly. Big shout out to Gasp for organising it. I know he works so hard getting these bookings, and he booked Ari the Rugged Man. It's maybe the biggest booking he's dealt with, and the place, there was a good attendance, and the battles were brilliant. Like shout out to all the battlers there. It was it was a really good night. Until Ari came on. Basically what happened is Ari showed up, he didn't have a DJ with him.
Okay. For
whatever reason, I don't know.
Sure.
So Bunty, he gave his beats to Bunty, and I don't know if the beats were out of order when he gave it to him, or I think as well, because his live shows are based on a lot of drops where he does a cappella stuff, like the beat drops out.
Sure.
And Bunty hadn't rehearsed it with him.
Bunty doesn't know this, of course.
He was trying to tell him where to do the drops, and Bunty was trying to keep up, but it's like, how do you do that live when it's not rehearsed? And
of course.
After a while, he was like, "Oh, F the DJ," and then it just, the crowd turned on him, because it was like, you can't say that to Bunty. Everybody loves Bunty.
That's good to hear.
So we were getting heavy Bunty chants in, then I was standing up the back with Bose, and Bose was just I've never seen Bose angry, but he was just raging. And just everybody just turned against him, and then he walked off stage twice, and then he managed to get the crowd back on his side a bit, and people were jumping about, and then he tried jumping in the crowd, right? And you know, the crowd were a bit against him already. He tried jumping in the crowd into a mosh pit, and somebody snatched his hat or something like that.
He was asking for that,
and somebody snatched his hat in a mosh pit, and then he stops the tune, right? He stops and goes, "Yo, man, you guys are acting like a bunch of groupies, man." But yeah, he's like, "You guys are acting like effing groupies, man." And then I was just like, "You get paid to do this. You've clearly not brought a DJ."
Sure.
It seemed like he was phoning in a wee bit, and then he came out again, and then because I'd had a drink, I shouldn't have done this, but he was in the crowd again, and then I went up behind him and knocked his hat off.
Okay.
And then he turned around and
allegedly,
and then he allegedly turned around and shoved me, and then he was like, he was just pushing people when he was in the crowd as well for not reacting the way he wanted.
That's
and
nasty.
I just thought, and overwhelmingly on Facebook today, and people I know who are big fans of him, I've just gone right off the guy now, and fair enough. Like, it's just. There's a certain way it's a certain way they act. I did apologise to Brian for going and doing that. I should have just but that wasn't maybe the most mature, appropriate response.
You were caught up in the moment.
I was caught up in the moment, allegedly. So, but yeah, it's such a shame, man, because I know how hard promoters and that, especially Brian, work to put something like that on. And when I see somebody coming over there, because Ari's getting paid up front, I'm presuming, to come and perform, and the very least you could do is, if you're not bringing a DJ, clue the DJ in first of all as to what you're doing, or organise your beats, or lay something out where you know,
just be more flexible.
Yeah, and then don't chastise the crowd for getting rowdy.
That's not going to work in Glasgow.
Anyway, so yeah, I think he managed to lose a good few fans in the space of about half an hour.
I heard that. I feel that. Where can people get the film? Dimension Zero.
The film it is currently on Distrify, but the best place to go and get it is just to go to the website, which is www.dimensionzero.com. Dimension is spelled with a T, Dimention, because there's a Swedish death metal band called Dimension Zero spelt properly, and I didn't want them getting any of my traffic. So just go to dimensionzero.com, and it's just on the front page, and you can rent it on Distrify. It's $1.99 to rent for 30 days just to stream online.
I definitely recommend that, people.
I'm getting some more. I printed up some DVDs and sold them at the screening.
Sure.
And just about people I know, so I'm going to get more printed up. But on the 18th of August, I'm screening it at the Fringe in Henry's Cellar Bar.
Cool.
And we're doing a gig afterwards. The Dead Life are playing, the Gyro Babies are playing, and Jamie and Shuney from Edinburgh are playing. So it's going to be a really good night. So 18th of August at the Fringe, Henry's Cellar Bar.
Get it in your diaries, folks. Andrew Mackenzie, thanks for coming by Temple Hiphop tonight.
Thanks for having me, man.
Come by soon with some music.
I will do. Thanks, Steg.